Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. Anton here, bringing you the 5 things I learned from the Brentford game. It's a little bit late for you, you know. Normally, I get this out first thing in the morning on the following day, but that's just not happened. And there are several things we've learned. Listen, the fan base have walked away. Some being disappointed, some seeing the positives from us taking a point at Brentford, a place we don't ever get much from, especially on their home turf. So, yeah, listen. Probably more negatives than positives, but we didn't get beat. That is a positive. So without further ado, I'd be as well getting started on the 5 things I think we learned from the game against Brentford. So the first one I want to talk to you about is Todibo. Todibo was making his full start debut for West Ham against Brentford. And to be honest with you, I cannot say anything really negative about the geezer. He is properly mustered. I genuinely thought he had a fantastic game. In actual fact, I could probably go as far as saying that if it wasn't for Tommy Soucek giving a really good performance for himself, I think Todibo would have been second in command for man of the match. He made 5 clearances, 2 block shots, 3 successful tackles. He won nearly 75% of his ground duels. He won nearly 75% of his aerial duels as well. We had 65 passes, 85% pass completion rate, successful with 50% of his long balls. And just, do you know what? Covered all round a lot of ground. He covered any player that stepped out of position. Him and actually Kilman have picked up a nice little understanding at that centre-back position very, very quickly. At some point in the game, you'll see it specifically in the first half when, say, Kilman was making a run and or getting caught out of possession, which was very rare for Kilman to do. Who was there to clean up was Todibo. And I think they've got a very, very good understanding. I think we'll actually get the benefit of Kilman pushing forward more in his ability, because he can do that as long as we've got someone like Todibo who can read the game as well as he can do. He looks mustered, and I think he's going to be definitely an exciting prospect for us moving forward. So that gives us some good hope. Next is Soucek. Tommy Soucek stepping up to the plate again, saving West Ham's skin, scoring another goal, played in a full game, scoring the goal, of course, in a more advanced role, 47 touches, 76% pass completion rate, 4 key passes, 1 shot on target. He won nearly all of his ground duels, about 90% of his ground duels. He won 50% of his aerial duels in the game as well. We made 5 clearances, 2 interceptions, 3 successful tackles. But what's interesting about Tommy Soucek is he's one of the original old guard, and he is stepping up. Therefore, someone has even suggested, why don't you play him up front? Now, do you know what? All jokes aside, he always seems to get into really dangerous positions. He just doesn't seem to. He always seems to lean back and hit Rose Ed quite a lot. I tell you what, it'd be interesting to see if they could work on him with that, because he would be a different dynamic, and I tell you what, he'd offer something different. Either way, what he has shown is that he is definitely going to be a big, vital part to West Ham, whether he starts or comes on as a sub. Maybe I need to stop doubting the player, as we all do, because he is there and he steps in. Now, the next thing I learned from this game is the double pivot. The double pivot just does not work for me anymore. It doesn't work for me anymore. We had Guido Rodriguez, and we had his partner in crime was Tommy Soucek in the game. And it just doesn't work having a double pivot. And what we actually probably need is just people showing for the ball. If you're going to play one central defensive midfielder, then so be it. And I expect against Ipswich that we need to do that, because you cannot play the double pivot. I think that's our problem. We're overrunning the midfield, and we have players that are not necessarily showing for the ball. They're not ball carrying players, and it's really becoming clear that that's what we desperately need in the midfield. The double pivot does not work. We do not need Alvarez and Rodriguez. We don't need Alvarez and Soucek. We don't need Soucek and Rodriguez. We don't need those players. 2 of them, the double pivot, it does not work for me anymore, and it should not work for West Ham anymore, especially against Ipswich. Now, I'm repeating this one. We have to play Carlos Soler. He came on. He looked more dynamic on the field. He looked actually reasonably exciting. He at least showed for the bloody ball. What do I mean when I say actually show for the ball? He just turned up, put himself about and actually made himself a little bit of a nuisance. You know, the guy came on, he played half a game, he had 23 touches, 93% pass completion rate, one key pass in the game, accurate with 100% of his long balls, 3 from 3 attempted. He gets stuck in. He won 3 ground duels from 4 attempts. He only lost possession once in his half. He was fouled quite a lot. He made 1 clearance. He made 1 successful tackle in the game. And I think what you will see with Paquetá is the freedom to go do what he needs to do. I don't want to judge Paquetá yet so far because I've not seen Carlos Soler play a full game or start with him. And I think you'll see a different Paquetá if you have Carlos Soler play with him. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. The last point I want to take to you and mention to you is there issues in the changing room? Rumours are coming out saying that it was a tactical decision for Lopetegui to bring Kudus off the field. But what I don't understand is that, you know, this isn't Kudus' best position. So play him in his best position. And therefore, by making that substitution at halftime with questionably your best player, a player that can do something from nothing, albeit he's not done it this season, it's a concerning thing for me. And I'm not saying there are issues in the changing room. That is the rumours. But it's something I want West Ham to address sooner rather than later. Kudus needs to be on that field. He's going to be massively important for West Ham moving forward, and I hope if there are any issues that it can be mitigated, changed, gone, and West Ham can move on for the season. Let's hope that is the case. That brings it into the 5 things I think I learned from the Brentford game. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Hit your thumbs up. Please leave a comment, and of course subscribe. Come on, you